Bam, it may record. It's recording. Charles McCutcheon here, just doing some real estate stuff right here, so y'all can see it as it goes on. So as you go through and you talk to them, you talk to the homeowner, you're gonna have to do. I wish I would have brought. Let me see if I have it right here. What I do is you have to understand the numbers. And I have another script. I use a lot of scripts. And what this script is going to tell me, this script is going to break down the numbers and it's going to show you. I have it right here. Checklist. Bam. Let me get it right here. An inspection checklist. Yes. So I'm going to show y'all a piece of this just because it's kind of those on live. You see the inspection checklist right there. And I'm just going to keep it right. I'm going to take it off though. But what it's going to break down to you is, for a window, this is just general information. What I do is you go into each room and I start checking off, does it need repaired or not? It's just does it or not? And then that's going to give you your repair list and it's going to actually give you the numbers so you can speak to an investor to say, hey, it needs about $20,000 in repair. So this is what I see as well. If you're going to wholesale this property right here, let me get it out the way. If you're going to wholesale this property, you're going to run the numbers and then you're going to do the repairs and stuff like that. And then you have to put it on the contract to wholesale it. What you do not want to do is start telling everybody all over the country, hey, I have this property, 902 Bounds Avenue, Chesapeake, Virginia. Everybody, 100 and whatever number you're going to come up to sell it for. You have to let people know about it. But if you don't have it under contract, somebody can take your property from you. So you have to put on the contract. And it's a couple of contracts that I use. And no matter what you do, you're going to get with a lawyer so they can look at your contract paperwork and make sure it is authentic in wherever you are, whatever state you're in, because everybody does it just a little bit different. It's okay. There's lawyers all over the country. To do this real estate stuff. Some are better than others. Some may not understand your creative financing. If they don't, find another one that does. Some lawyers work out of the courtroom and some don't. I like my lawyer not to really work in the courtroom per se. I like my lawyer to actually have done real estate deals because some of them don't understand some of the deals that I put on the table. Some of them may even not understand like what we call a land trust. They'd be like, well, why do you need a land trust? You don't need that. But if they don't understand it, they just don't understand it. That's just what it is. So I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an accountant. So I just give the general information, and I want you to go find the people that can help you to go there. So as I'm going down, I'm going to see if anybody. Oh, you say some tough lessons learned. I get it. Everybody goes through some lessons learned, and the one thing you don't want to do is go through the hard knocks of learning the hard way, where you learning by putting up all your funds, and now you sitting there and you pissed off, but you did learn the lesson. See, some of us going to learn by doing, and some going to learn financially. The wrong way to do things. So, in a nutshell, wholesaling, you have to get on any type of site. I could list like 20 sites you can find property. You find a site. I just gave you two, Zillow and for salebyowner.com. You get on there, you find a property that fits your budget. Don't be trying to get $1 million property and you want to pay, $900 a month. Let's be for real, y'all. Let's just keep it 100. So you find something in your price range that you can actually pay for, and it's a numbers game. So you're going to look at the numbers and you're going to start calling these people up and going to their house. Really, that's what I do. I go to their house and I talk to them and I see, what they want to do with the property, why they want to sell the property, what's going on. I look at the repairs, and then I ask them a few questions. If what you can do, you can put any property under contract. But my thing is, I don't like to just put, willy nilly, just throw property under contract. That's not what I do. I look at if I can add something and help them out. If I can help them out, I'll put on the contract. And helping them out for them is somebody buying a property. For me, is seeing if I can find a profit. And for the investor is for meat on the bone if I'm not trying to keep it myself. That's how I do business. If I know there's no wiggle room, I'll try to help them out with a uh, I'll show them how they can market their property online, offline. I'll give them pointers. Uh, I'll even bring some people over. Like I'm looking at this house right here. I look at the roof and outside as well. I might ask them, do they need my contractors to come out here? Somebody that can paint, somebody that can spruce up the yard, somebody that can fix the roof. I find people like that. But this is what I do, family. You have some people on tap. As I'm looking through these slides, the kitchen can be updated a little bit. That's just my first take on looking at some of these things, some of these pictures, because that stove is like from, I don't know, it doesn't look like it's an updated stove. That's just me looking at it. So I may have somebody come in and say it may sell better if you do X, Y, Z. So I already have my contractors on tap. Anything you need in a house, I can find somebody that does work. I have a guy that can, two guys really, that can do a house, like build a house from the ground up. So they can do almost anything in a house. So what I do is I form relationships with these people because I get paid that way as well from doing referrals. And so you don't have to close a deal to make money, y'all. You can have a carpenter, you can have a roofer, and you can have a relationship with them to say, hey, if I give you this deal, do you do referrals? And they say, yeah, I pay $100, I pay $150, I pay whatever they pay. It doesn't really matter. All you're doing is giving them the deal. And I mean, if you got $50 from referring somebody to hooking two people up, I don't think that's a bad day. It's okay that you just got $50. And it's not like you gotta, break the bank. You can be like, well, I need $500 for them. It's not even that serious. Just help somebody else out. That's the goal. But see, that's only one house you got one referral off of. But what I do when I go through a list of 25 people on Zillow or for sale by owner, and I start to make phone calls, and I'm still working off a list 2 weeks ago from 25 names. That's crazy. So I still have to go through that list. Some people wasn't home when I called, so you got to call back and stuff like that, and set the appointments and go out there. So as I'm going through, if you have any questions, I'm looking through to see if anybody have any questions so I can answer it. So one of the big things, is this price right here. Now this price is huge, not huge, but this price is the owner wants 149.9. Every owner I've ever spoke to, they always want full asking price unless they know they have a lot of work to do in the house. So they want full asking price. So what I would do, I look at this house, look at the area. I would go to houses that have sold. So I click on and go to Zillow. I'll go back to Zillow and I look at houses that have sold in the area that's close to this area. I use 5 miles. So what I can do, I can go, let me see if I can go back if they're going to let me. I look for houses that are sold. Let me see. Hopefully it go back and it stay on this screen right here. We'll see. Let me click off of this. Bam. I may not be able to remember 902 Bounds Avenue. If I do, great. If I don't, that's great. But what you're going to do, you're going to have to do some looking around and seeing houses that have already sold in your area. That's what we're looking for. Houses that sold. If it's going to let me do it, it may or may not. It don't want y'all to win. There you go. Let me close that view. So what you can do is go to for sale up here. Y'all see, I'm going to try to go slow and make sure y'all get it. And you can look at recently sold. Click on that link right there. Boom. So it's going to put them out there in yellow. Let it go through. Let it go through. Bam. Y'all see all that stuff right there? That's crazy, right? I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let it take effect. Houses that sold. That's crazy. All these houses sold. But now you have to go back and find. Let me make sure the house that I want is up there. I'm going to just do a quick example. I'm going to zoom in, and you can click on this button as well. Just keep zooming in. I don't want it to do that. What you're going to zoom in and do is just get one of those red dots, hopefully the one that you were working on, and keep zooming in, keep zooming in, keep zooming in, and then This one for 154. I'm going to go to this one. It's different from the one that I had, but no big deal. So what I do is I look at this one, and then I look at the houses that are around it that sold once it takes effect. Hold on for a second. I keep zooming in and zooming out. But you get the idea. And what I do, this is just general information of houses that sold in the area. You can find this information literally at the city. If you want to go to the courthouse and find it, you can find it there as well. So, oh my goodness, that's a lot of doggone houses that sold in the area. So I just look around and look for the one that I'm looking on. I usually keep that one, but since I'm just showing y'all an example, you can take this 77. All the ones in red are the ones that are for sale, and the ones in yellow are houses that have already sold. So I'm just jumping around, but you take those houses and you look at the top 5 houses that are the closest that have the same criteria. This is a big one. It's the same criteria of the house that you have. So if you have a 3-2, this one right here is a 2-1. And I say 2-1, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. So I look for the same criteria of houses. It has to be the same. You can't get a 5-bedroom and then start looking at 1 bedrooms and stuff like that. It doesn't really work. So I look at the square footage. I want it to have similar square footage, and I want it to have similar proximity to the house that you're trying to buy. Make sure it's in similar. Let me make sure nobody's saying anything at the. Hold on. Hold on for a second. If y'all have questions on the webinar, just go ahead and chat them in, and I will get to them as I'm going along. So I just look around, y'all. And the big thing about real estate is the doing part. You have to do. You have to do the do. Nobody want to do all this stuff. I mean, I have virtual assistants. I had them as well to where they're doing a lot of this work for me, and I just actually go on calls and stuff. But I'm going to show you. I'm showing you the way, because I got to pay my virtual assistants. So this is the way you do real estate by yourself. This is the way you do it by yourself if you ain't got no help. So what you do is I take the first 5 and I kind of just do an estimate of, what are the prices of these houses that are in this general area. That's what I do. So y'all can do the exact same thing. It's no secrets to this stuff. Just find a house that you want to live in, or find a house that you want to do a wholesale in. And it's going to be numbers, numbers, and numbers. And you have to keep looking and keep searching for, like this one is 77,000, but I don't do a lot of 3-2s. And the reason I don't, law of numbers, majority of people that I see, I don't care what state I go to, 3-bedroom, at least 1 bath. Well, you can at least have 1 bath, but 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 3-bedroom, 2 baths, that's like the standard across the country if you want to do something with it, as far as, selling it to somebody or buying it for yourself. People want a little bit more room, that's all. So that's what I do when I do what I do. And whatever number you come up with, you have to use, I'm gonna tell y'all the number, but on one of my videos on YouTube, I go through and I break down the number and show you how to do the math for behind the real estate. So I use ARV times 0.7 minus the repairs equals some number. So the ARV is an after repair value, and then 0.7 as an investor, and it's different for different areas. I know some investors might go crazy. Well, hold on. You can't use 0.7 here because we do it differently. And I get it. You have to start somewhere. Some people use 0.65, and some people throw that all out the door. And if this is a very hot market, it's hard to use those numbers like that, depending on how hot the market is. So every market is different, but to use something, I use 0.7. And as an investor, I want 70% of the value of the home because I need some meat on the bone so I can make some money as well. Investors are not working just to be working. They're working to make ends meet as well. So that's one way. Are you looking at the for sale or sold? That's a question. I'm looking at, do not try to get the after repair value by looking at what's being sold, what's for sale. You can't do it that way. And I see a lot of people that do that. So you're kind of limiting yourself, and you're not going to win on that one. Not going to happen. So you have to look at, if you're looking for the after repair value, you have to look at what has already been sold, because it's down at the courthouse. You can't go past that. You know, if a house were sold, if 5 houses were sold for 150,000, how are you trying to sell your house for 250? It don't make sense. It don't add up. So that's what you have to do. Let me see. Any more questions out there? I'll make sure I got them all. Great information. Okay. There you have it. I'm gonna do one. That's just a wholesale deal. Now let me go over this thing called lease option. I'm gonna talk to it, but like I say, I have some videos. I have information already out there that's already done that you can go to it and take your time with it so you can understand lease options and how they work. Now this is how I put people into properties. And lease option, and I had a good friend, he may be looking at this, and I don't really care, but he told me it was illegal. And I'm going to tell y'all, because I asked him the question, and I said, is renting to own illegal? And he said, no. I said, well, renting to own is nothing more than lease options. That's all it is. I just call it a lease because I'm going to lease from the homeowner. That's all I'm doing is leasing the property. When I lease the property, I become what we call a principal in the deal. And from there, I can actually, give it to somebody else. So like I said, it's a lot of information out there on lease options that I can get you to the right. It's about having the right information and knowing how to construct the deal. So a lot of people lose out because they're not constructing the deals the right way. And with the lease option, I'm going to give y'all just a quick example. You lease it from somebody and you sublease it to somebody else. You lease it from somebody, documentation has to be done, and you sublease it to somebody else. That's very easy. Hold on for a sec, y'all. Because I know y'all working real hard. I want some chips. Anybody want some chips? I'll give y'all some. Anybody? Nobody? Anybody? Chips? Okay, no big deal. So, I do a lot of lease options, and this is the reason I want you to do it. Right now, there's going to be a crash. I'm going to tell y'all right now, and behind the scenes, what we don't know is happening right now. Behind the scenes, banks are opening up a little bit more. They're doing those, what we used to call back in the day, those no-doc loans, where I used to see people come in that make $40,000 a year. They were giving them houses, and that was just back before the bubble burst. They were giving them houses for $350,000. Not good. I knew it was coming. I knew something was coming because I used to be a loan officer. CMS Mortgage, I'm going to give a shout out to Miss Karina. She's a bad girl. And as a loan officer, I truly just used to say, hey, you're about to get this house for $350,000. Why don't we look at something more in your price range? Because you have a bubble that's going to happen, or it's going to come due years down where it's going to inflate. And they say, no, by that time they're going to have all this money and stuff. And I used to try to talk people out of getting deals, but this is the thing: a lot of loan officers would be like, oh well, you can get a dog a house. That's how bad it was back then. But see, what's happening now is the banks are trying to they're unleashing just a little bit. I'm not going to say a lot, just a little bit. And so we're going to have a crash. And so with that crash, what you need to do is you need to do real estate to where it's no money down, or you putting $100 down. I would keep it there unless you're doing like investments. That's a little bit differently on a whole nother level to where you're investing in build outs and stuff like that. That's a little bit different for me. But me personally, I like to keep on the other side only because when the market goes bad, we're still going to do real estate now. Don't get it twisted. Real estate is still going to be done. It's just going to be done differently. And I'd rather you do creative financing than to have it hit your credit. And now you're going under because the houses that you went under, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I had a friend who had 10 houses. Wasn't too good. When the market crashed, had to file for bankruptcy, and it just got real bad, y'all. So I want to show people a better way. There is a better way, and wholesaling for everybody is something that I would do. And some people don't like the wholesale because once you do the deal, you have to do another deal, and then another deal, and another deal. And we say it just the well runs dry. But if you do look at the wholesaling and you add lease options, the well doesn't run dry on a lease option. The same deal some people out here doing for $30,000, I can do the exact same deal and make the exact same money on a monthly basis that they're making in their rent. It is what it is. Well, they do own the property in 4 or 5 years. I don't own the property, but if the tenant leaves, the homeowner, the person that wants to buy the house leaves, then I can actually buy the house. So, and that's how I started out, y'all. I started out, No, I started out with my own property, and then I took the equity out of one, and then I bought another one, and that started it. And it was just, it was amazing to me that you can do that, but it's legal and it's happening. Real estate is the great equalizer. I don't care what you're going through. Anybody can use a $10,000 check, $5,000 check. I'll take a $1,000 check, but it's being consistent. That's it. Not the interest only loan. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm telling you, they're sneaking some people through. I'm not following that stuff though, but I've been seeing stuff in the news and stuff like that, they're inching back to that, but it's been very hush hush, Ms. Robin, very hush hush. So that's not the game I'm playing in. I'm playing in the no money down. I'm playing in the low type deals like that. So there you have it. Anybody else got any questions? Because this is it's just information for me, but it's more doing. I'm doing real estate on a Sunday. I was doing it on a Saturday. We had a great meeting. We're gonna be doing another one, y'all. Just to let y'all know, I just got another event space we're gonna be using during this one. What I'm doing now, it's better when we pick up the phone and everybody going to make their own phone calls for their own property, and then we're going to go through the scripts and set up appointments. So it's going to be so much better that way. And with the one that you just did, if you did it with me, if you need the for sale by owner checklist or what have you, email me, Charles M Speaks at Yahoo, Charles, the letter M, SPEAKS at Yahoo, or inbox me. I'd rather you email me than put real estate because it's so much easier to keep up with it instead of me looking for everybody's emails or anything like that. And I can send you the sheet, and you need to follow the script. This is what I find. Let me give y'all this information real quick. Let me see if I have it. Yeah, this is one of my scripts. Let me show y'all. Some of y'all that's on there. This is one of my scripts I use. Probably can't even see it. It doesn't mean. Let me see. It's one of my scripts that I use when I call people. Now, don't try to be a hero. I was doing. We were practicing. Me and this guy and this lady, and they were a team working, and we're practicing on the phone, and we're going through. He's calling me, asking me for my home, and so he's asking me questions, and I got confused. Because after the call, I said, hey, man, I said, what are you doing? I said, don't you have a script? He was like, yeah, but see, what I was going to do is, I said, no, that's not how you do this. You don't try to do it. Follow the script. It's a script for a reason. Follow the script until you get so good that you don't need the script. And then guess what you do? You keep following the script. You may have to move things around depending on what people tell you, and that's okay. But you have to hit certain points on the script, and you have to say the words in the right way, because you can mess up the entire deal if you just try to do it your way. And he literally had me confused. And I do real estate, and I was like, what are you even talking about? He started going into numbers and dropping numbers, and I was like, what are we talking about here? You lost me. So once you get the script, follow it. I mean, I have so many doggone scripts for if you want to do a wholesale, you want to do, it's so many different scripts and so many things of how it's said and how it's done. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. So let me ask y'all, let me see, any questions, y'all? Anybody got a question? Are you looking for the sale? Oh, I already answered that one. Let me see. Anybody else? Any questions? Any questions? It's all real estate. It's about doing. We can talk about it all day. We can talk all day or we can do. Questions? I'm going to go ahead and cancel this in a minute. It's all about them questions. Questions? Questions? Y'all know y'all ain't got it like that. Come on now. Stop playing. I'm going to eat my chili cheese fries for chips. No more questions. Okay. Email address. I'm going to put it. Can I type on here? Damn. Charlesm Speaks at yahoo.com and put what am I putting? FSBO script, I guess. FSBO is for sale by owner. In the subject line. Bam. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Going once? Already did that. It's just real estate. Oh, y'all can collaborate too, y'all. A lot of people don't want to. I don't know why. Because some of y'all, I mean, some people on the line I know do real estate. And some people are realtors and some people, they're just learning. So, you know, we got to come together, y'all. It can be deal. There's no shortage of deals. We just have to come together. Oh, y'all ain't not gonna hold me up all day. Go ahead. I can hear you. If you want to speak that's on the webinar, I can hear you if you're speaking. Let me know. Miss Kim, Miss Mon, I see y'all. Thank y'all for getting on. Miss Renee, Miss Robin, Barry, Ebony, John, Maika, Tracy, Ton, Lynn, Sean, Mr. Donald. Okay. Hold on, I got one more question. I'm taking one more question. No, send me an email. Please send me an email. I'll put my email out there. Send me one and we'll make it happen. Make it happen. It's you can put in my name as well and go to YouTube. I have some videos so I'll step through some of these things that I'm telling y'all about. And the business credit. It's about that business credit. Well, I thank y'all. No problemo. Y'all take it easy. You know, I keep doing these. You know, I'm going to keep doing whenever. Sometimes it may be an hour. I get it in me to be like, let me go ahead and do it. So, you know, I'm going to do them, work to do them on the weekends and sometimes on the weekdays. And I do have other classes that I do that's smaller. But there you have it. Y'all take it easy. Charles McCutcheon going to sign out. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Thanks.
No problemo. Thank you very much.